And we're gonna do this. Hi, Seb. Hi, Joe. Hi, John.
Hey, Julie.
Good morning. Good morning. We're gonna get into it right away. We're so happy to have Cyndie here. Cyndie's from Knox Box, and we were just learning a little bit about her lasting and endeavor was with a 55 and over Sun City community in Las Vegas. So there's a natural connection now between the products that you have and what it is that we do as seniors real estate specialists. And those developments are exactly our industry, well, our demographic, and that's our business, that's our industry. So go ahead, introduce yourself and let us know about you and your product.
Okay, well, thanks for having me on today. I really appreciate it. I'm from Knox Company, Knox. It is, we named it Knox because our boxes are built like Fort Knox. So that's why the name Knox. This is our 50th year. And we initially started building Knox boxes for commercial products. Our owner owned several commercial buildings in the Newport Beach area and had a fire. Well, actually, it was a false alarm fire, a fire alarm. And the fire department broke down his very expensive door to get in, and he said there's got to be a better way. So he developed a Knox box for his Newport Beach Fire Department, and it just took off from there, and that was 50 years ago. So we have since then developed more boxes, and the one specifically that I'm going to talk about today is get it in the picture here, the home box. This particular one hangs on the door. This is a security door hanger. We also have one that will hang on a wood door, or you can mount it to the side of your house. The door hanging type seems to be one of the more popular ones because you don't have to drill into stucco or something like that. So you can just hang it on your door. This is got to be close to 10 pounds. It is not a light, flimsy box. It is not something like you would get from Home Depot. Now it is keyed to whichever fire department jurisdiction responds to your particular area. Every fire department has a unique key. There is not one fire department in all of North America that has the same key unless they share their keys, which very few fire departments do. Some rural fire departments that are close together will have a shared keyway, but most fire departments all have a unique key. So it's very important that when you order a Knox box, you order it from the correct responding fire department.
Could I
Now,
ask,
not
is it,
all I'm sorry, what was your question?
is it just fire departments, or do you have other first responders and police that would have it too? I'm thinking more like, what happens if you have a heart attack or something and need to be broken into?
Right. Well, and that's what these are for. These really are for medical response.
But what I'm asking is, do they have a key too?
No, not
All right.
typically. Now there are some fire jurisdictions that have submaster keys for police and fire access. Now you can request that, and your fire department could potentially allow the police to have that submaster key, but more than likely the fire department is not going to share the key with the police. And
Okay.
there's reasons for that. There's multiple reasons for not sharing a key with police. Legal reasons. Fire department has access to buildings that police don't necessarily, so. But it is something that you can request if you want. So this particular box, the fire department has the key. They will come up, they will unlock the box. And look, there we go. Unlock the box, open it. This is going to have space for one key, potentially two. So if you have a security door and they're keyed differently, you could put two keys on here. I've tested it. Then they lock that back up and close it up once they leave your house. But this keeps them from having to break down your door in the event of a smoke alarm going off, a fire alarm going off, an accidental emergency button pushed. And then it also, if you are having a heart attack or having a medical emergency, it gets them into your home faster. Now, if you have a gated community or you have homes with electronic gates, we have a gate switch as well. So this will get people or the fire department in through an electronic gate and up your driveway. And then this would be for the door. Any questions? You're on mute, Julie.
That's amazing. I already have, I mean, like, okay, how many can I buy? Just I'm gonna give them out all their good closing gifts, Christmas gifts.
We have had people buy them as Christmas gifts. And as I was mentioning earlier before there was more people on here, AARP does have a grant program for home boxes. So I can send Julie the list of potential grants, and AARP is on there. Walmart is on there, Target is on there. So there are some potential grant opportunities out there as well.
Oh, and we will definitely utilize that. And we're connected with AARP as well.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yes, that
How do
would
you
be
apply?
perfect.
How do you apply for the grants?
Well, there's a link that I'm going to send you a list of these potential grants. They're all links. So you'll click on that link and just apply for the grant. And I've had fire departments that are successful at applying for these. Now, if you have your community association wants to have, get a grant for 15 or 20 of them and have them as a loan program, you can do that too. I have fire departments that provide these as a loan program for people who are on hospice or need them temporarily while they're in need.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And
Yes.
Joseph asking about the price for them.
Let's see. Yeah, they're we go through. I think these are about with the mount, these are right around 250. There's a lot of steel on here, and the prices are really based on the price of steel. So every time steel goes up, of course, these go up.
So, we're very familiar with this kind of product because we, as real estate professionals, we use a product called Super Key. And
Right.
Super Key has a huge, very heavy key box. So, and they're not inexpensive either, but they serve very well. And so this kind of a product is right in our wheelhouse for ourselves and our clients and our families, everybody. So
Yes.
So do you
Yeah.
have different models of the box? Because mine is different, but I got it years ago, and it's mounted on the wall next to. I have a locked gate before you can get into the door, so I had to
Mhm.
go to that. And then actually, there's a reflective tape on it too, so that at night the fire department can shine a light and find it easier.
Yes, and there is on this one too. There's a little
Oh,
reflective sticker here. So when they shine their lights on it, it will show, but we do have different models. We have what we call the Resi box. And it's about double the size of this. It's going to hold 2 keys. Really, it'll hold about 4 keys as long as you don't have any key tags on the keys. But it is a little bit bigger. So if you have a fire department that doesn't have the home box program, they will have the Resi box. And it's a little bit more expensive because it's a bigger box. It has more steel. And then we have the commercial Knox box, which will hold up to 10 keys or 5 keys with key tags. We also have a very large vault that will hold up to 50 keys.
oh,
That's
wow.
not going to be used for a residential. It can be used for a school. And that one also does have a dual lock capability, so it can be keyed 2 ways. There's two locks on there, one for the fire department, one for the police department. If the police department in your area takes part in the Knox program.
do you work with the senior living communities?
I don't usually, I always work directly with the fire departments, but we're starting to work with senior communities more. As I had mentioned before, we just did a very large event with a Sun City Summerlin in Las Vegas,
Yeah.
small town of Summerlin outside of Las Vegas. And it was really the city councilwoman that was pushing for the Knox Box program for the Sun City residents there. And she was able to establish a grant for boxes for some of the people who met the financial need. They were given boxes through this grant, and others were able to purchase the boxes through either directly through us, or we have a Knox trusted partner in the area up here in Northern California and Las Vegas. They're called Metro Fire and Security. So they hold stock of boxes for all the fire jurisdictions. And so you're able to get somebody who is local, so you can will call the box or have somebody who can install the box.
This would be a good opportunity for some industrious real estate agent to go through and have some kind of a campaign like that to apply for the grants and then be able to distribute them at various target locations that would need them. So anybody out there listening,
Do you have Cindy, do you have a liaison with the Santa Clara County Fire Department
I
here
do.
already established? Is
yeah,
it?
that's what I've got.
Santa
Uh-huh.
Clara County?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, every fire department has what we call a Knox coordinator. So it is somebody that they're in the fire prevention department of the fire department, and they handle all the Knox programs. So let me see, I can pulling up my database here. Santa Clara County.
Yeah, Santa Clara County.
And they have 3 different accounts: Santa Clara County Fire Department, Santa Clara County Central, and then Campbell. And I think they all have the same Knox coordinator. Let's see. Matthew McKenna.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yes. It looks like he is the deputy fire marshal.
Uh-huh.
And I can send out his contact information to you, Julie,
Yeah, that'd be
if
great.
you would like, and you can send that to other people. Let me see if they have a home box program. I think they do.
I think that's the one mine is with.
Okay, they don't have home boxes, but
Hmm.
I can talk to Matthew and let him know that we had this meeting and
Mm-hmm.
see if he would be interested in home boxes. But that's probably, Skip, why you have the larger box is that they don't have a home box program. You probably have the larger Resi box.
Mm.
So, if a department is not having a home box program, it's not because they decided not to do it, they just haven't done it yet. Is that correct?
Yeah, they just haven't done it yet. And
Okay.
it's just a form for them
Yeah.
to fill out
Yeah.
so that we can have home boxes appear on their web portal. So we have a web portal, knoxbox.com. That's where you go to order the Knox boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll click on the buy button, and that will bring up a pop-up, and you'll be able to choose California and then type in your specific fire department that responds to your area.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can see what products that they have available that they allow in their jurisdiction.
Okay, Joe, you had a question?
Yes, I do. I got two questions. First of all, the grant in general, how much of a discount you can get from the grant?
I don't know. It really depends
Is it
on how
20%,
much you
50%?
ask for. I'm
That,
sorry, what was the question again?
well, I was hoping to get an idea. Is that 20% or 50%?
I think
Or
they vary, Joseph, by each
yeah,
grant. Each grant's unique.
okay.
Yeah,
So my
every
second
grant is
question,
unique and it's not necessarily going to get you a discount. You may get a grant for a whole box, not
I
just a
see. Okay.
discount.
Okay.
It
Good to
all
know.
depends
So
on how much you ask for. If you are asking for a one box for just yourself, or if you're going in as a community and asking for a grant for your entire community.
yeah,
And,
that's my
it just all depends on
right.
the
That's my
size of the
question.
community, the financial need.
Right. It's really, in my case, it's a senior community. We have over 2,500 units in here. All of us are required to have a front door key to put in the public safety. So we already had that. So with this, the public safety person do not need to go to to the headquarters to find the right key to come back. There's a time difference there, for emergency. That will make a big difference. Number one, and number two, once people have that box, how they going to put the key there? Would they able to go to the next door neighbor to open their box? How do they open that? That is a more technical question. How's the owner open that box compared to fire department get the key to open the box or whatever?
Right. So when you order this box, the box ships open.
Mm-hmm.
So the box is going to ship in the open position, but
Right.
locked. So when you get your box, what you will do is you'll call your fire department and let them know you have a home box. So they'll come to your house. You'll already have a key, an extra key made to put into here. So they'll come to your house, they'll put the key in, and they'll lock the box back up.
Okay. I
And then
see.
they
Okay.
take the
So
key. So
You,
nobody else has a key to this box but the
you don't
fire department.
access the box yourself. It's only for the fire department, Joseph.
right.
And
Okay. Good.
also,
Yeah.
if for
Right.
instance, like you change the locks on the house, you're gonna have to have them come back
To
and
do
do it
that.
again. And
Yeah.
I think there is a fee for that, but I'm not sure. But
Well,
that is specific to each fire department. So I don't know if some charge and some don't.
okay,
Well, as real estate professionals, that would be really good to know because now we might encounter a home of a transfer of property and, from one owner to the next, if there's such a box in place,
Mm-hmm.
which I haven't seen yet, but now we know. So now we'll
yeah,
know what to do.
I think unless you get a grant for 250, it's still a little bit on the high side for the homeowner because that's compatible, maybe even more expensive than our lockbox. Julie, do you remember? I haven't bought one lately. I have a whole bunch of them. I don't know how much it costs to buy now. One of the blue box is around 250 more or less the same too.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, right.
Well, I mean, it's always cost effective if there's a reason for its being in service.
Yeah.
So at whatever price.
Well,
So
and it's it, not to minimize the fact that it is an expensive box. I understand that, but it is less expensive than your door. So if the fire department were to break down your door, it would cost much, much more.
I'm a solo ager, and this is my number one, issue and we work with solo agers a lot. So people living in their homes all by themselves. And now, one of the things we do as seniors real estate specialists is we do address emergency preparedness and things like that, because we do talk about aging in place and
Mhm.
aging well in the home that you're in. So, and this is all part of that.
and Julie brought up a good point. What happens if there's a sale of the property? Does the box need to come down, or can they transfer that to the new owners? And what, I guess you have to register with the fire department as well? You know how that works?
Yeah, so there's a couple things that I have seen happen since I have been here with Knox. Um, Given that, you have these that can go over the door, I've had a lot of people take these with them when they move. If it's stuck to the house, they don't always take it. They can't because it's locked. But they will call the fire department and say, "Hey, I'm moving. I'm going to take my box with me." We can recore this box. So when they move to Santa Cruz, say they're going to go to Santa Cruz, they can call the Santa Cruz Fire Department and say, "I have this home box that I brought with me from Santa Clara. I need to rekey it to the Santa Cruz Fire Department." It's just a matter of Santa Cruz Fire Department calling us and saying, "We have a customer that needs to buy a core. It's just the key core, this part." So they'll approve that and that we'll buy the core. We ship the core to the fire department and the fire department comes out, recores the box. It's super easy. And then they lock it back up.
Well, that's
The other
convenient.
thing is it does transfer. They leave the box in place when they move, and they just have to call the fire department and say, "I'm a new resident. There's a home box on the building, and I'd like to put my new key," because more than likely when they buy a house, they're going to have it rekeyed, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, not everybody does, but hopefully they do. They're going to have their house rekeyed, so they're going to have to call the fire department and say, "I just bought this house. I have a new key, and I need to put it in the home box." And the fire department will come out and put that new key in the box.
Great. Wonderful.
Now, the other thing that, I would suggest is, because I've done this with a city councilwoman in Las Vegas, is talk to your city council as well and just say, "Hey, we're interested in a home box program. Is there any potential for grants through the city, state, or county that we can get towards, homeowners that meet a financial need and that need free boxes. And that's something that you can do too.
So do you have any idea of your saturation here in Santa Clara County?
As far as
Users or fire
users,
departments? Yeah.
well,
I mean-
I would say about 100% of the fire departments have Knox in the whole Bay Area.
Okay,
Whether
that's
or
good to
not
know.
they have
Yeah.
home boxes, that's a different issue. Santa Clara County does not. They would have the larger resi box. But yeah, we're pretty much saturated with fire departments in the Bay Area. And with the city councilwoman in Vegas, the way she did it, she worked directly with the fire department on this project. So there was kind of a triangular effect between her, Knox, and the fire department of making this project happen. And so, you know, getting your city council involved is not a bad idea.
No, that's a great idea.
For
Yeah.
us, it might even be better to approach Sourcewise about it.
Yeah,
Them
that's
to,
a really good idea.
they're the AAA in our area. Not
Right.
the car club.
Oh, okay.
Area
I thought you were
agency
talking
on
about the
aging.
insurance company.
Area Agency on Aging.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any more questions or anybody have any observations?
We need to stall until Wesley gets on.
Well, he's right there.
Oh, is he?
I do actually have a question. I apologize. I'm always
Hey, Lynn.
like, yes, hi,
Yes,
Julie.
Lynn, of course. Good morning.
Yes, I know,
sunshine.
and I'm sorry if you repeated this before. And so I'm just seeing all this like, so where is this? Is this box stored with blueprints, floor plans, pre-fire plans, evacuation procedures, and a copy of the key of the home? Where is this box? Is it on site? Is it at the fire department? Where is it stored?
So this box is going to hang on the front door.
Oh,
So this particular one has a security door hanger. We
uh-huh.
also have one that's wider here that will fit on a wood door. Or you can get it without the door hanger and just mount it to the side of the wall of the house. But it
Okay.
needs to be someplace where it's visible to the fire department. They should not
Okay.
have to go searching for it if they know you have a home box.
It acts
Oh, okay.
exactly as a lockbox would be.
Okay.
And this will hold one key, one or two keys. So
Okay.
if your security door is keyed differently from your front door, you can put two keys in here. It will fit, but it will not fit evacuation plans and floor plans and things like that. That may be something that should be at a different, like a document cabinet at, you know, the front gate, the security guard gate or something.
Yeah, there's
Oh.
products for that.
Okay, well,
Okay.
I think since we're on the hour here and we want to give Wesley a chance to present, if anybody needs the contact information, as Julie always says, it's on the bulletin. So you go there.
Right on the
and you can
front
contact
page.
them and get all the information. And with that,
Cindy, we're gonna
Uh,
stay connected to you. This is amazing. Amazing. Thank you.
Yes, and just
Wesley
let me
or-
know if you need anything else or have any other information. So I'll drop off if you don't need anything else, and I'll send you the information that I told you about.
Perfect.
you so
Thank you
much.
so
And I'll
much.
contact Matt McKenna at the fire department.
Yeah.
Just let him know that we spoke.
Yes, I
Okay.
am.
Okay.
Got it.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much, Cindy.
Okay, Wesley,
Wesley.
are
Hey,
you
Julie.
live?
Hi.
There
Okay.
you are.
There you are.
How's the haircut?
I've had many hairs cut.
Many hairs.
I bet.
Yeah.
You got
Oh,
it.
there, and actually, it doesn't look that bad.
Okay, let's say hi to
Wesley.
Valerie and Jessica and Shelly and Liliana and Anthony. I
Hi,
got my
guys.
magic mirror here. Say hi to everybody. All
Hi,
right,
everybody.
Wesley.
We already know Wesley here.
Yeah, you guys know me. I've presented before, but this is something different. This
I
is
want to know what's different today.
well, thank you. What a transition. So you guys all know I do a bunch of different things. I do age tech. But the story basically began about 20 years ago when I started in the industry, in the aging industry, specifically with tech. And at that time, I was thinking, gosh, everybody would want technology. I was completely wrong. Nobody wanted technology for aging. You know, the most advanced in those days was one of these buttons, I've fallen and I can't get up. I sold those. And I also sold a very sophisticated medicine robot that basically dispense meds to you. Um, Nobody bought that. And other things that we did a lot of research. We had like radar type sensors, which now, of course, in my other job we sell, which is great. But 20 years ago, people didn't.
Mention your other job.
Oh, my other job, which I think I presented before, is Stat Care, which is a remote monitoring system. I think we have a recording of that somewhere. So if you guys
Yep.
want to refer
Yeah,
back to that one.
this is for
Yeah.
the people that are new.
Oh, okay. Yes. For the people who are new, Stat Care is a remote monitoring. We use sensors and we put them in a house and we use AI to determine the patterns of the seniors to make sure that they're safe, that they fall, that they wake up in the morning, that they go to the bathroom too many times, which may indicate a UTI. That's the elevator pitch for that. Okay, let's talk about my passion, which is how do you mitigate loneliness and isolation among seniors? So, back about 20 years ago, when I was on this journey to discover what age tech everyone would buy, and the answer was none, okay, in those days, I discovered that there was another problem that wasn't solved that people pretty much ignored. And that was how do you mitigate isolation and loneliness among older adults? So I started going down that because I felt very strongly about that. My wife and I, we were running a visitation program from our church, as it turns out. And we realized that there were way too many older adults who wanted people to come visit, and there were never enough volunteers. So we came up with the idea and said, why don't we just call them on the phone? And we did originally. And then after that, it's like, gosh, we couldn't find any solution that worked well. So we started developing our own. And I'll share with you a little bit more about that. But the question about loneliness and isolation, if you haven't heard, our um, our former Surgeon General, Dr. Vivek Murthy, wrote a book called Together over here, published a few years ago when he was still the Surgeon General. And he made the statement that loneliness in America is a serious epidemic. He used that word, epidemic. And it turns out he's now heading up a United Nations World Health Organization initiative because it turns out it's a worldwide epidemic. Okay. Now, of course, this all came to the forefront during the COVID crisis about 5 years ago because during COVID, guess what? We were all locked in our homes anyway. So we were all isolated. We understood what it meant to be isolated. But it also highlighted the issue, particularly for a lot of older adults who did not use technology. How do you get connected? And what a lot of people did is, well, we just need to teach the older adults how to use technology. If any of you have tried teaching some older adults, particularly those with cognitive decline, how to use technology, it is the most frustrating thing in the world. And so we said, we've got to find a better way. But let's start talking about loneliness, the problem itself. Um, Julie, do you mind letting me share the slides? It'd be great if I could.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Televisit's a nonprofit. I founded this 15 years ago. So we've been doing this for a long time. And our goal is to build virtual communities, long-term social support networks to mitigate isolation and loneliness. And so here's the problem description, right? There's increasing evidence linking isolation and loneliness to negative health outcomes. At the end of the day, it's like, what are we worried about? And the data is showing that it is as bad as smoking, yeah, worse than obesity, and gives an increased risk for heart disease and stroke. I mean, those are like the three bad things. And it's as bad or worse than these things. In fact, the reason the Surgeon General, Dr. Vivek Murthy, talked so much about it and wrote a book about it is when he went across the country, when he first started as Surgeon General, and he realized that it was the underlying factor for a lot of physical health issues. So, what it means, of course, is if you don't figure out a way to help people out of this, you're going to increase your healthcare costs. They're going to be experiencing lower quality of life. And here's the thing, there are no easy solutions. One is because people do not self-identify due to the stigma that's associated with loneliness. Oh, I'm not lonely. It's okay. But all of us at some point in our lives have felt lonely. So we understand what it feels like. But for the older adults, particularly those who've become shut in because they've lost their mobility and it's difficult to get out back to their usual activities, to the senior center, to church, wherever they find their usual regular activities where they meet with people, they are automatically isolated. And they could be very, very lonely, particularly if they don't have the ability to use technology. Now, I just want to talk a little bit about the San Mateo County Loneliness Initiative. The San Mateo County was the very first county that went ahead and declared loneliness to be an epidemic. So they kind of followed suit with the Surgeon General. And they had this conference called Loneliness to Light back in October of last year. And Supervisor David Canepa and Dr. Annabelle Pelham, who started this thing called CAFE, which is the Center for Age-Friendly Excellence, and Lee Pullen from the San Mateo County Aging and Adult Services basically funded $1 million to Peninsula Family Services, which is a very, very large nonprofit in San Mateo County, to go ahead and figure out how to mitigate isolation and loneliness with both in-person activities and virtual activities. Of course, they came to us to provide the virtual activity. So we're rolling that out right now.
And I just wanted to point out that we're going to have Annabelle speak about age-friendly initiative on the 19th of next month.
Oh my gosh, perfect. Annabelle is a good friend of mine and I love her. She's great. You will love it. So here's one of the issues that a lot of people face when they try to quote unquote teach seniors how to use technology. Because when we hit our 80s, and more people are hitting the 80s, it's the fastest growing demographic in the world. About half of us will have some form of cognitive impairment. Now, it may not be apparent. It could be MCI, mild cognitive impairment, where literally you can still operate like you do every day, but you're having these quote senior moments, right? You start forgetting what's going on. You start to miss a few things. And it's like, you know what? It doesn't actually affect anything in your day, but it does do one thing is you lose the ability to take the initiative. I saw this in my mom where she was happy to just sit down and watch TV for 12 hours a day. In fact, she'd be very happy to not even get out from her lazy boy, okay, if you didn't like drag her out to get meals or anything. And this is repeated across tons of households everywhere. Okay. So again, if there's one thing I want you to take away from today is the ability to take the initiative. One word, initiative, okay, is the main thing that a lot of older adults don't even realize. And a lot of the family members and friends don't know. It's like, why doesn't Sally do this? Come on. She's always done this all her life, right? It's the natural progression of aging. It's not a problem, but we need to recognize that as a condition and then figure out how we provide the external force to reach in to replace that lack of initiative. So the solution that we came up with Televisit is we hosted virtual activities. Again, we did this 20 years ago with phone calls, realized that wasn't good enough. So we said, okay, we're going to host it. There needs to be a host who's trained to facilitate, and it must be initiated by us. And that's the key thing. Okay. The senior simply responds. It's like picking up a phone. It rings, you pick up. If you expect them to say, look, join Zoom, but if you want to use the phone, you have to dial 29 digits. They're not going to be able to do that. And you have to remember when to join and how to join. They're not going to remember that. We also decided we do need to deliver it over the phone, the regular phone. For some people, that's all they can. And we've done this with Vista Center for the Blind, where tablets really don't make a lot of sense. So we just do it over the phone. And we also provide Android tablets as another way of doing it. But that there's no knowledge of using the tablets at all. It turns on and off automatically. 8 a.m. in the morning, it turns on, it goes off automatically. And in between, it shows all these pretty pictures you can see here. Here's an example of a tablet that we have. And then we have calls at prearranged times. These are group sessions. So we have to have a prearranged time, just like you would go for either a lunch activity or whether you go for a senior center activity. It's prearranged. So we have a prearranged activity, but it's virtual. It just calls you on your tablet. Our goal is to make the technology disappear and to remove all technology barriers. We have a fair number of people in the 80s, 90s, over 100 who don't use technology. Some have never used technology in their lives, and we've never had any problem with them. So the phone solution is very simple. During the pandemic, we got a bunch of funding from various agencies to provide our virtual activities. And the phone rings, and the caller ID will be the partner organization. So for instance, we partnered with Self-Help for the Elderly Little Brothers in San Francisco. Just as an example, we were funded by the city of San Francisco. The phone rings, the caller ID will say Self-Help for the Elderly or Little Brothers, so they know it's not a scam call. They pick it up. There'll be a friendly voice that says, please hold while the host connects you, and then they automatically join into an audio conference. That's it. Don't have to do anything. Literally pick up the phone and you're in. But what we also did is we also printed out the paper for some of the activities and we mailed it to them. And people forget paper is a technology. It's a very old technology, a few thousand years old, but it's still a technology that a lot of older adults feel most comfortable with. So guess what? We mailed it out. It worked brilliantly. People loved it. The tablet solution looks kind of like this at 8 a.m. We call it a talking picture frame, by the way, for some older adults who said, you know what? I've never used technology in my life. I don't see the need to use it now. They're like, I don't want another piece of technology. I don't want any technology on my desk. Okay, it's a picture frame and it removes all the barriers of adoption because if you go to the homes of many of these older adults, they have a digital photo frame that's been given to them by their kids, or better yet, their grandkids. And they're like, oh, it's just like this one. Yeah, it is. And it shows pretty pictures of different things at different times, with one difference. It can also call you. And when it's time to join something, it's like a phone. You just have to press one button, which is the join button. It's huge. Press that button and just wait, and you'll be connected. And obviously, if you don't want to join for that particular time, you can hit the exit button as well. And then the host connects you with the people in the group and starts to show a program. For instance, we actually are a producer of programs. We've actually produced music programs. This is one of our board members. He's really, really funny. and he produces a music program called Johnny's Jukebox, where we feature some of the favorites from the 1970s, 1930s, all the way anywhere in between. He tells all the backstories. It brings back so many memories. It's one of the favorite things that we do. And then we did facilitate a discussion. So this is not just about playing a video to people, because then what's the point, right? They can just watch TV. What we have really is to kind of build a relationship among these people to create that long-term social support network. Um, so for some groups, they may choose to join an exercise class. We can do simple exercises. We had 3 different groups when during the pandemic in San Francisco. We had kind of the standard group where they could do kind of full body type Tai Chi. Okay, we could do chair exercises, and we had one lady who was bedbound. She couldn't even do a chair exercise. So guess what? We did finger exercises. We did arm exercises. And that was good. It just got the blood going, which was healthier than just staying in bed all day. And then at the end, at 8 p.m., the talking picture frame says, "Good night, bye," goes to sleep. You don't even have to turn on and off the power button. It stays, it takes care of itself automatically. Other programs we've produced or we've done, travel, brain games, bingo. This is one of the favorites. We wrote our own bingo game, and the best part is you can invent your own rules. So it also becomes a brain game. Initially, when we did this, a 95-year-old, I think he was 92 at the time, when we came up with a way to play bingo differently. In other words, we could spell letters, we could do check a box, we could do blackout, which means every square has to be filled. He said, "You know what? I can't understand this. This is too complicated for me." And he got a bit frustrated. So I said, "You know what? Just play bingo the usual way for you. The others, they'll play bingo in this new way." He eventually figured it out. But what he learned was he was starting to have some cognitive decline, and he adjusted his lifestyle so that he can accommodate this cognitive decline. He's 97 now. He's been with the group for 13 years and he's not stopping. Okay. But those are some things that we do. So we still play bingo every week and it becomes a brain game. And it's a lot of fun for these folks. We've got another group from Avenidas that's also been going on for almost the same amount of time, about 12 years. And they prefer to play, it's a brainy group, so they prefer to play spelling bee together. And so they do that every week. And it's just a fun thing that they do to get to kind of keep their brains going. Throwback Thursday stole that idea from Facebook. A lot of people love to just reminisce. So we kind of reminisce about all kinds of stuff. Education, we do things on emergency preparedness, preventing financial scams. Every year we have an update on financial scams because all the bad actors come up with new ways to try and steal money from you. So we always do an update on that one. Healthcare options, using tech, housing options, food options. This week we're actually doing something on foods to avoid when you get older, like sugar. So we had a lot of really good discussions on how do you find hidden sugars in all the processed foods and how do you avoid all that. And then we also added this capability with the ability to video conference when you don't have to learn email, remembering when to join, how to deal with volume and camera controls. It just takes care of everything automatically. It's literally as easy as picking up like a FaceTime call. And here's a quick demo. I'm hoping this will work. I don't know, but certainly you should be able to see the video. You may not be able to hear the audio. So let's see. But once you download the app on the Televisit tablet, when it's time for, again, it's ringing. I don't know if you hear the ringing, but it's real loud. You saw somebody press the join button. And that's it. You're in Zoom. Okay. We have people who join regular Zoom sessions, people who join using the Televisit tablet. So even people with no technical knowledge, they can join Zoom classes that have already been prearranged. Okay. So we've been doing this for, well, it says 14 years. I haven't updated this in a year. Over 15 years with a group running for about 13 years. Extremely low dropout rate. That's our problem. People just don't drop out. We don't know what to do. We just keep it going. So, for instance, in San Francisco, we've been funded by them for a number of years. If you know anything about San Francisco, the city is in a very tight budget situation, so they cut funding to a lot of programs. And unfortunately, we were one of the programs they cut. We made the decision that we're going to keep going regardless of what money we're getting from people. And because we work primarily with low income people, we couldn't ask them to help pay for the service. So, guess what? We're just doing it. And hopefully, with some funding in the future, we'll be able to continue to keep it going. But because our costs are very, very low, we do use volunteers. And by the way, we are always recruiting volunteers. So if you have the heart to do this, please contact me. And we'd love to have you join us to do this. And that was it. Any questions, thoughts, comments, please?
Yes. So Wesley, hi,
Hi,
Lindley.
Leonard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice to see you. And this is
Ben.
amazing, especially I saw this in my own family, with my mom getting dementia, as some of you know here, and they are in their 80s. And my dad, kind of feeling loneliness because now he has his lifetime partner cannot provide the type of companionship that he was used to before. And this
Right.
was the reason why he was so adamant about having my sister and her boyfriend, which is another story. But anyway, he had to come with her, so from Canada
Yeah.
to take care of them. And it was not even for their skills or anything, but it was really for just the companionship. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So this is definitely something I experience, and I'm sure many of you do, when you interact with seniors. It's like they're so happy to, I'm their real estate agent, but then I'm also their friend because
Yeah.
I recognize that they desire and crave that companionship, and they look so forward to a call from me, even though we're really talking about business, but it's like just any kind of interaction. So this is a very relevant. My question is, are you, and I'm sorry if you mentioned this, a 501c3 nonprofit, or are you a for-profit? And you,
No, we are a 501c3 nonprofit
oh,
based in California. We've been doing this for 15 years, so we've got a long track record. Absolutely. So we accept donations of any amount. We accept volunteers. Absolutely. But the reason is when I started doing this, again, we started this journey 20 years ago, just visiting seniors. I thought there was an interesting business model. I could not figure how to make money of it. And maybe because I'm just not that smart. And so I said, you know what? I feel so strongly about this that I still want to do it. And we decided we're going to make it a nonprofit. So yes, it is.
yeah, that's amazing, and it is part of your ministry, maybe, to your passion, to solve the social problems. So that's really good. Yeah.
So how do you get your funding then? Is it solely from donations and grants, or do you charge per person?
Yeah, thanks, Gib. We typically don't charge people, so we typically ask for donations if they can afford it. And so we've had through the years some people who will provide donations to us, so private donations. That's a fairly small amount. A lot of our funding does come from grants, and we did get a bunch during the pandemic. Of course, there was a lot of money flowing during the pandemic for this type of programming. It has unfortunately dried up. So the third model we get funding is actually through fees, usage fees. So because we actually work with partner organizations, I mentioned a bunch of names before, but we work with partner organizations and we basically tell them, look, this is like paying your phone bill or your internet bill. There's a small amount that we need to recover our cost. And so in a sense, it's like a license that you purchase and you pay us for that, and it covers our costs. And it's very minimal, but that's the third way that we do that. And I think my board is encouraging me to figure out how to scale that model because that is more sustainable than getting grants, which disappear, or private donations. But of course, we'll accept any and all donations.
Well, I've been supporting you guys for a number of years now, so it's worth it.
Skip, you are amazing. Yes.
Aren't I though?
Yes, you are. You are amazing, and you've been a strong believer and a supporter financially as well as in many other ways for years. Thank you, Skip.
That's why I have you on today. And spread
Thank
the
you.
word.
So your participants, are they just local or do you have any in other states?
Julie, that's a great question because we are fully virtual. We can go anywhere in the world. And most of my folks are today in the Bay Area. Having said that, we've done projects all across the country on the East Coast, in the South. We've done things in Canada. We've had a project in Singapore. We're doing a project in Japan, and we're actually starting a project in Germany in a couple of months. So actually, our software has been localized to various different languages, including German, for instance. Yes.
So yeah, Joe had that question. How many
About,
languages are available?
I'm sure it's about Chinese.
Yeah, so we've had Chinese speaking groups as well use this with no problem. Absolutely. Yeah. I think I mentioned Self-Help for the Elderly, which is a Chinese nonprofit based in San Francisco. And I think in Sunnyvale, they also have an office here. So absolutely, Joe, it does work with Chinese speaking folks.
And
Thank
then if
you.
we have so if we contact you and say we have a Vietnamese family that we'd like to serve, what do we,
This is where it's a bit tricky. So
especially for multi-generational families? So yeah.
yeah, we had a model when we started, 15 years ago, where we said, you know what, just send us everyone and we'll figure out how to put them in groups, and it became really challenging. So what the board decided probably about 10 years ago is that we would focus on a channel strategy where we would work with partners. And that's why I kind of threw out some names. There's a group in um, San Jose called AKI, which originally stood for Asian American Community Involvement, but they serve all kind of population groups. So they just go by AKI today. It's kind of like ARP. They don't use the retired people anymore. So it's a similar group. We do work with ARP as well. And so what we would do is refer you to one of the partner organizations that will be using Televisit. So for instance, we were in a one of these health fairs a couple of months ago, and there were a couple of Chinese speaking people who said, "Hey, do you have a program in Chinese?" I was like, "I don't actually have one myself, but I actually have Aki host their own programs using this technology." And so Aki does it. So I referred them to Aki, which was 2 tables away, and Aki pays us for the use of the technology. Yeah. Joe, by the way, my information, I think,
And the bulletin,
is in the bulletin.
On the front page of the bulletin.
and Micklin's been patient. What's next?
Sorry, Micklin. Sorry, I've seen your hand up.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hi, Micklin.
I was going to ask the same question about the contact information. Yes, I can go back to the bulletin. But another thing I wanted to ask was about not only the technology, but the device itself. Is that available for sale?
Well, we don't sell it per se, but we do sell it as a service.
Okay.
So the model is this. Let's say there's an organization that says we're interested to provide this to our older adults. A senior center would be a good example
Yes,
of it, right?
exactly.
We would talk to them and say, well, look, for the people who can't come in on a daily basis, but you still want to serve them, you can do these virtually in a way that they don't have to learn anything. And we ask for a certain amount. And depending on the volume, it's between $5 to $10 per month per person. And that helps to cover our costs because we do have compute costs that we have to cover. So it's really low. I mean, if you had to find a similar type solution, and by the way, there's nothing else like this because we're the only ones that do exactly this, you'll be paying 2 to 3 times. But because we're a nonprofit, we can basically sell it at cost. So
So you're selling the service, not the device.
Yes.
no,
Uh,
no, the device is a standard Android device. An
Oh,
Android device is however you can get it, right? So we'll go to different groups. So like Vivalon in Marin County, they use basically used devices that they had. We have another group that basically canvassed and got a bunch of old Android tablets. We had a grant from Google, and they gave us like 50 of their old Android tablets. They don't have to be the latest and greatest, right?
mm,
As long as it's Android, it'll work.
Android.
And then
Okay.
we put an app and we put it in what's called kiosk mode. And kiosk mode basically locks out all the other features that will get people in trouble, right? Like going into this button and bringing this app up. So we basically lock everything down. So it is not a general purpose tablet. It's a tablet only for these group activities. And our bet is that these tablets have come down in price. They're cheap, they're available. They can be, you can canvas for used tablets that they're essentially free. So they're not supposed to be used. If you have older adults that want to use a tablet, go get them an iPad or get them another tablet. But this is just for the group activity so that there's no frustration whatsoever in joining the activity.
That's what I wanted to follow up on as far as the activities. It's like a lack of a better word, like a TV guide. Say we're having Tai Chi reading at 4 and so forth throughout the day. So
The
are
schedule.
they encouraged to stay on all day long or plug in whenever they want to? Or
Yeah,
how do you do that? How do you do that for them to get involved in whatever they're interested in?
so our vision is that they don't have to do anything, like literally don't have to do anything, right? But what's important is the host. So we always have what's called a home group. Some of these groups have been going on for 12, 13 years. Typically, we put them together in a group and we keep the same group together. So they basically age together and they become friends and support each other. Now, not everyone agrees, and sometimes we have to move people in different groups. The home group meets at least once a week for about 30 minutes just to make sure. And we talk about stuff, we play bingo, we just do regular things. And then you can join classes. You
Mm,
mentioned Tai Chi. You can join a class, you can join, an exercise thing, a travel, a gratitude class, a music appreciation type. You can join different types of things. Most of the organizations we work with are big enough that they will actually do their own classes,
mm.
or they can ask us to do it on their behalf. And then we'll just charge them an hourly rate to host a class for them.
That's really good because I was interested in how available it is if they want to do it. You say you meet certain groups once a week, but what
Yeah.
about on a daily basis if they wanted some activity to keep their brains exercised, say like on a daily basis?
Yeah. So we have what's called automatic activities. Now, I didn't actually show you a demo of that, but we do have this ability so that you can watch a video or an exercise, and you don't join a group. You just watch it and you just follow along. So we have those type of automated activities as well. And particularly exercise is a good type of activity that we can do with that. Yeah.
How about that game, that brain game, Suku? I know I'm saying the wrong name. You know which one I'm talking about. It can be
Sudoku,
very
yeah,
frustrating.
yeah.
Yes.
So that one, we don't support it today. Yeah, we don't support that Sudoku today. So unfortunately, they have to use their own tablet if they know how to use that, or their own phone to play Sudoku. By
Mm.
the way, I play it every day. I love
What kind of tech support do you offer if they need it?
zero.
Aha. How do they get it?
The whole point of this program is that they don't ever need tech support. By the way, that's the biggest issue when you're trying to teach older adults how to use technology is tech support. So I'll give you two answers, Skip, for that. One is that's the reason why we work with these organizations. Many of them will have their own IT personnel to provide that. Okay. So when we will help them. We'll train them how to download the app, configure it, which is what we call provisioning, and then also do the hosting which is real easy. There's a web page based program for doing that. We'll teach them how to do it. It takes about an hour, not very long. And then they're off to the races. That's it. It's very simple. It's in kiosk mode. Now,
I was thinking more about like if say the tablet isn't working correctly or there's some other issue, how do they reach out to get help to find out what the problem is and how to solve it?
yeah, so either they call their organization because we're doing this on behalf of the organization, or if the organization says, "Can you help me to do it?" then, we'll take the call. But I'll tell you, the most common problem is people unplug the device. Okay? We tell them, plug it in, do not unplug it. And that's the number one problem because you have to remember we're dealing with depression era kids who basically believe that everything has to be turned off if they're not using it. And when you turn it off, the tablet loses power, and then you have to plug it in for at least 10 minutes for the battery to charge enough before you can use the power button. That's the hardest thing that we deal with. Otherwise, everything is locked down. Okay. Even the camera, you can see right here, we cover the camera with a webcam cover, and then we put a little googly eye. This was my son's idea. And so that you can basically open up the camera when you want to share. So you don't even have to tap on the window to look for how to turn on and off the camera. We make it so easy so you don't have to learn anything. So that's the whole point is we basically program all the tech issues out of it so you don't have to do anything. We had a guy that called in 2 weeks ago with a tech issue. It had nothing to do with our tablet. He just happened to have a problem with his own computer. He forgot
Coffee maker.
how to use it. And he thought that we would provide tech support. I could probably help him, but I said, you know what? I don't do that. That's not my mission. So I referred him to Senior Planet, and this is real useful. Senior Planet has an 800 number that you can call for any kind of tech support issue, and it's free. It's funded, they're part of AARP now, so it's funded through AARP and the grants that they get. And they solved the problem for him. He was real happy about that.
They're a great group.
That's seniorplanet.com or something like senior.
Yeah, I think it's seniorplanet.com. Yeah, but it's
Good.
now part of AARP.
Michelin,
I want to go back and ask you, are your
Yes.
the things that you have on your device, is it customizable where you can download, or we have to go through you to download games or whatever, other than to do go?
Oh my gosh. It is super customizable. You can change the photos, you can change the message. Every morning it comes up with a friendly message. We can change the message. You can schedule any program that we want. In fact, we would prefer if the organization does all of it so that they don't have to come talk to us. So we
Great.
did it so that you can do everything by yourself.
Okay. My final question was, I thought, and I want to make sure I heard this right. Did you say that this technology will go away? And the reason I'm asking that, there's nothing like touchy-feely, where you get somebody, or you're a group, I'm sure some of these people know each other, some may not. At some point, is there a point at which you say, let's get together for a coffee clutch and get to know each other on a one-on-one basis?
Yeah, so we encourage people to get together, okay? And again, because we're working with organizations, most of these organizations like Archie, Self-Help, will have in-person activities. They have a senior center, they have something. So what we would do is acting on their behalf will encourage the people to actually get out and do stuff together. We'll talk about activities. Oh, there's a fair going on here. There's this festival. We encourage people to get out. There's a guy in San Francisco who loves to frequent a pub, an Irish pub. Okay. And he would invite people during his birthday to come together. And there were a few people in the group who did that. So typically we don't do it because Televisit is all about doing virtual, but our partners will do it. And we encourage them to actually go out and join activities in the community. We believe it is really important for people to get out, to have real, face-to-face type of community. Absolutely. We have
That's
one
good.
group which is called the pilot group. They are our original guinea pigs. We've got a guy that's almost 100 years old in that group today. They've been together with us for, like I said, over 13 years. And because they're a group that we started, they basically said to us after, I think about 3 or 4 years, they said, you know what? Here's what you need to do. You need to have a party. And if
Mhm.
we're gonna be at your house, you're gonna throw us a party so that we can get together and we can see each other. Because over the years, they were complete strangers and they've become good friends.
That's great.
Still doing that every single year. I told them, here's the condition for me putting on a party at my house and buying food for you guys. You guys have to get in front of the camera and do a testimonial for me. So if you go to our website, televisit.org, and you look at the second video, that is their testimonial. Those are the people who got together with us.
So
Great,
Wesley,
great,
I-
great.
do you interact with senior living communities in our area? I mean, this would be something.
No, I don't, because I've had a lot of problems with senior communities considering us to compete with their activity directors, which is unfortunate.
How about a collaboration?
The only successful collaboration I've had is with gosh, who was it? It's Lytton Gardens in Palo Alto.
Oh,
Lytton Gardens in Palo Alto is low income. So they don't have activity directors. They have activities that, various people in the community kind of
what
hold.
about independent board and care, RCFEs?
Yeah, I've not had good luck with RCFEs. I had a few of them come up and say, we'd love to have this because there are so many of our people who just don't even come to any of our activities, right? It's like less than half the people actually show up to the activities. Can we do it from home? We've got some strong testimonials in pilots that we were allowed to do in communities that said, hey, you know what? You've done some magical stuff. I could never get these people to come out and do stuff, but you've managed to do that.
That
So,
Well, I
but I've
think
not had luck. So
Or how about Avenidas? I mean, you've got to be
he's
connected
already
with
got that.
Avenidas, right?
Avenidas has been my client for 13 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember back in the beginning when you started this, you had a great idea where the parents of, or I'm sorry, the children of these people would get the tablet and sign them up for it so that they could do it, whenever they're by themselves, and it worked out really great.
Well, actually, that was a great idea. It didn't work out that well.
Never mind.
I put, I'm thinking on a bigger company, on a bigger scale, AccuShield would probably want to do collaboration with you, is what
AccuShield will be interested if you have a connection to AccuShield.
I do.
I'll have to go talk to them. Yeah.
I think that because it's like they already have they have a footprint there and they speak the same language, they have a similar product.
Yeah.
And I think that like something like that, and then
Tell us just a quick sentence on what AccuShield is.
oh, AccuShield is kind of it really skyrocketed during COVID because they had a system to check a visitor's temperature and log in their information as they went into an assisted living because they had to start monitoring that for obvious health reasons. But then they started realizing, we have a lot of people that are lonely. So they incorporated something called like the love meter. So to kind of get a gauge on how many of their residents actually weren't visited. And so that they needed to pay more attention to those people that didn't have visitors and was lonely and in isolation. And
Oh.
also, they realized, the whole ridiculous system of Google and pay to play business for assisted living. They started having residents or family members on the way out, like do a Google review or check in, and so that they would, because it's such a debacle. But they speak your language, they have the same passion for helping people, and I'm happy to make an introduction.
Thank you.
She's
I know we're running out of time, but I'll just put up my last slide with my contact because I know you had a few people who asked. So there's my contact again, wcheng@televisit.org. You can call us, you can call me in the office line. I probably won't pick up. You can leave a message, but email is probably the best. So wcheng@televisit.org. Thank you so much. I'd love to connect with any of you.
Wesley, I sent you a LinkedIn
Oh,
invitation. So
LinkedIn is
please,
great.
yeah,
I'm a big
thank you.
believer in LinkedIn. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Anybody else before we wrap up?
Oh,
All
no,
right,
that
well,
was a
next
real,
week, we're gonna have, somebody from the SEC speak to us about protecting your nest egg. So you might want to pay attention to that.
oh, no,
Oh,
I was distracted. Sorry, Skip.
Sorry about my dog. He's asking for lunch. Okay, I'll log out now so Skip can take me off.
No.
Thank you.
Yes, next week, really, Skip, I was totally distracted.
never mind. You can see it in the recording.
Oh, no, next week is gonna be fabulous. Because we have people coming from Securities and Exchange Commission, and they're gonna talk about really important stuff.
There's an echo in here. Yeah, important stuff. Protecting your
Important
nest egg.
stuff.
Protecting your nest egg.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
How's everybody's week this week?
None of your damn business.
It's good. How was your week?
Good.
Oh, good. Julie, I did have a question, and this is how valuable this session is because I had another Zoom link, which for some reason I just had it in my own calendar to come into that Zoom room, which nobody was at. So I quickly looked back at your email for yesterday and saw a Zoom link. So my question to you is that going to be moving forward the same Zoom link, or is it a different Zoom link every single week?
So the email that I send out on Mondays with the bulletin has current, fresh Zoom link in that
Unique.
email.
It's unique.
It's unique.
So in other words, every single meeting is a different Zoom.
Unique.
Yes,
Okay.
unique.
Because I try to, I mean, you probably
can't
all
do it.
are. Like I live and breathe
Not
by
an old
Google.
one.
Well, I'm aware on how other systems are in place with other Zoom meetings. Like I am in a bunch of groups, and we have just one email that contains 52 Zoom links, and we just click on that. So, but I do it
Well, I just
differently.
wanted to let you know all the prior. So what I did was on one of your past emails, I copied and pasted that Zoom link, and then I just repeated that on my calendar. And I've been able to get into that Zoom room for whatever reason without any problems until then. There was another time that happened, and then this time. So I'm wondering if Zoom has it just to the same room and then at a certain time for security purpose or whatnot, maybe change it. So I just wanted to let you know that.
Yeah, no, that's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, okay, well, that's good. Thank you so much, Julie and Skip, as usual. And you guys all have a great week.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. One thing, I don't know if anybody noticed, you probably didn't, but we did start the market makers group last week. So I did a little recap on that on page 5 of the bulletin. Now we're up to 5 pages.
Okay.
So all the information for next month for the market makers is on page 5 of the bulletin. And then between now and then, we've got we did a lot of brainstorming, huh, Jessica?
I was really kind of, you had my ears, I got a lot of thoughts in there, and then Skip had talked to me about presenting, and I just kind of feel like I have plenty of time to think about this, but I see where, everybody's in their own silos, and I look at all these years of all the stuff that we have learned with home care and says how it takes a village, and you always have like a care manager, and you have home care, and you have the doctor, and you have and like the real estate agent's not in there, which is, or somebody, or it, so I feel like I can build this out and show you guys how you fit and how you guys need to integrate into this marketplace. And I know that has a lot to do with like there's a lot of education with certified senior advisors. But I think the missing piece here, unless I'm wrong, is like how to integrate you guys on everyday marketing with each other so that you are part of that system. Hey, I know Julie does real estate, but I know she's also connected to a bunch of people other than real estate, like where you start becoming that part of that go-to system. And
Well, and that's the whole business model of a senior home coach. And so as a certified senior advisor and a senior home coach, we're integrating and we are morphing the whole the two industries together. This is a brand new movement that's just it's just beginning. This is the genesis of it.
yes, I believe
And
that.
your industry doesn't, didn't have any premise whatsoever on what to do with us real estate people. And then us real estate people didn't really know anything how to interact with the senior living community and caring community people either. And so we've been working really hard on creating the connection and the conversation.
Well, I can tell you my local market, there's a couple of people that actually did get it. Like there's somebody who came to the real estate and appraisal, and then they got into the estate management business, or no, estate like downsizing. And then, oh, well, hey, wait a minute, we could do real estate. And so they kind of start combining. So you are seeing across markets, or people are becoming these perfectors, trifectors. The people who are very established as senior real estate advisors that are really established and have teams, they have somebody on their team that does real estate, they have somebody on their team that does downsizing. So either you need to either build your team out, or you need to be like incorporate into other people's teams as that kind of go-to person. So I mean, I have lots to share as always, but I think you guys need to kind of like get yourself in the communities and start touring the communities. Not because you're going to get those referrals from the communities, but I'll share more as it goes on. But that's that, so you can start integrating yourself more, being more recognized.
Oh yeah.
Jess is going to be presenting this to us December 16th. She'll have a session and she'll have the opportunity to tell you all about this.
But and until then, I'm going to try to keep my mouth shut. It's very difficult.
Good luck with that.
It's so hard. It's so hard for us. I know.
I love this.
Lots of good ideas, and we just want to talk about everything.
Use sign language.
I'll give you sign language, mister.
Oh, wow.
Wrong finger.
That's that's what that means.
You guys are
Right,
weird.
you guys.
You guys are so weird.
And we're gonna still be weird. Not
Hmm.
weird, different.
Different.
Saying to the guy who operates like the man behind the curtain and you never get to see, right? That's weird.
Ta-da!
Pay no
I
attention.
value my privacy.
Pay no attention.
Pay no attention to the man
To the man
behind the curtain.
See who's pulling the levers.
All right.
We're done, aren't we?
Yeah.
All
I
right,
was
I'm
just thinking if there was anything, if anybody's got, if anybody has like any ideas pop in their head, just text them to me, email them to me, because I'm always looking for something to add into the bulletin. And we are booking into, we're booked out for speakers for the whole rest of the year, so we'll be nothing operating on a cancellation list till the end of the year. And
once my class is over, then I'm going to start working on next year, and I've got a whole bunch of ideas.
yeah. So we're always looking for ideas, contributions, collaborations. Just let's go, people. Okay. All right, everybody. You have a great week. Thank you.
Thank you.